So we have our two pumps here, our PK pump and our Tiva pump. You'll hear them both called Tiva pumps or syringe pumps. For your guys' use over here, they're probably pretty much identical, but the PK pump is the newer version that has more features for us in the OR. It has TCI, so I don't know if you guys have started these up from the go, or you mostly just get them probably just fennel or norepinephrine most often. But if you have to start it up from the beginning, the bottom one will just go to whatever the last drug was, phenylephrine, nice and easy. New drug, this is kind of confusing. It says new drug, yes or no. So if you hit yes, that actually bumps you back into the main menu of all the drugs. Difference here with the PK pump is it gives you the two options at the beginning. TCI, so that's target controlled infusion. That's not something that you would use over here. It's just for propofol and remifentanil for actual total intravenous anesthetics. So I don't see any reason why you would use that here. So just select no, and you'll go into your full list of options.
So there's oh yeah.
So both of them should be mostly the same at this point. Big chevron, little chevron goes down by one or down by a full page. Same on both. So let's go to norepi because that's probably pretty common. And okay, it's going to be the same on both for that. The concentrations are going to be a little different just because we updated this to what anesthesia wanted, and we didn't. These are old and
What do they use as norepi in there? Because ours are 4-to-1, here's a 2-to-1, right?
So that's important. Ours are what you would call weird concentrations.
Yeah.
There's method to our madness. That's why I brought this recipe card. So we decided to do a kind of keep it simple method. So all of our recipes are one vial diluted into a 50 ml syringe.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes
there's a recipe
sense.
card. One of these lives on top of your anesthesia card there. I have an extra if you guys want stuck up somewhere else. But so 80 mics per mil is what it ends up being if you put the 4 milligram vial into a 50 ml syringe, and it should all be laid out on there. Phenylephrine has a couple different options because just some anesthesiologists like it in 200 per, some like it in 100 per. So you can choose that at this point. We could modify it to different concentrations if you prefer, if you're more comfortable with. And some anesthesiologists will do less than the 80 because that's pretty concentrated, and if you accidentally bolus that, it can obviously be a big problem. But that is our standard for now. So you just have to keep going through the menu, confirm that it is the standard dose, and then you're ready to go. So we've set this one up as 4 mics per minute. Pretty, 1 to 4 I'd say is a pretty standard dose. You guys are all familiar with that with your Sigma pumps, I'm sure. I think the Sigma pumps start at 1, a little bit softer. We're usually trying to, recover somebody from an event. So we've started a little higher usually. Other than that, green means go. It will tell you that it's infusing it on the top. So this is probably the state that you're going to see it come into the AOR in. And if for some reason this is running out and you guys are having to change over, we would probably prefer you just go to a Sigma pump because we're going to be waiting for these back in the OR. But if you're in a rush and you have to, it will scroll through a screen that tells you the concentration that it is on top, just to double check that it is the standard off of that recipe card, or if they've changed it to something different. And if you have to change it out, you don't have to do anything with the screen. You can just press this lever and release it. It's going to get mad at you, but that's okay. Just take it out, put your new one on.
We just asked you guys to mix the syringe pumps. We've never mixed a syringe pump.
Yeah, I don't see why you would ever have to. This would really be
an
emergency until you get your Sigma pump up and running. But if you have to, don't be afraid to pull these levers off. It will just tell you to confirm that you put it back on, and it will stay on hold until you restart it. Then it's back to where you were. syringe sizes, it doesn't matter. The machines automatically can tell what size of syringe you put it on. Just making sure that it's the same concentration as what's set. These ones are discontinued, so you won't see these for too long. As they break, we're just not replacing them. Hopefully buying new ones of these. But that's the basics of it. Anything that's come up in your guys' practice that's good concerns?
So if we turn it off and we're infusing, we have to turn it back on. It remembers the last drug that was.
So this one remembers the last
that one
drug.
does, and the other
this
one
one you have to go through and,
okay.
and tell it that
Okay.
you're not going to do the TCI mode.
Right. Okay.
To get into the main menu.
Okay.
So this one, yeah, can take a little longer
Right.
to restart up if you have to.
Okay.
Would it benefit us having, like I brought, because we had one of those last week, would it benefit us having a syringe pump over here?
Maybe they're not that expensive.
Just so that we're a little bit more comfortable when we did use it, and then I found out, of course, old brain. Like, so I figured we needed drivers on everything, you know, we brought out, was it nitro?
Yeah, nitro.
Just direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's maybe
No, but-
not textbook.
No, but Taj
With
looked it
those
up, and
things,
yeah,
like
they're
point-
doing
point
it
one-
now.
0.1 mils.
So like I was blown away because it was only running at 2.5 mils. So I'm like, we need a drive line, and Ola said, why? And I said, well, because.
I
Because.
don't like that practice because Dexter can tell you we've run into where we transfer a patient at the end of the case and then we hook up a line to that
yeah,
IV,
pulls.
and then all of a sudden they get
Yes.
whatever was in the cap.
And this person had a different line, a med line, right? So.
But still, at some
But
point you're gonna have to
still,
flush that.
Yeah,
out.
still if you flush that saline lock, you're still.
So it was right there. Yeah, because Taj came back and
You're not changing them anymore, so.
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that as a standard.
So drive line, keep it in my brain. Yeah, because I'm having a hard time getting rid of that
Right.
thought.
Yes, if you have a designated midline, then
We did though, but these guys are saying still it's very dangerous.
ICU's pushing not to have the drive line, but
I
I
know.
still
Really?
like it. I
Yeah,
still
yeah,
like it.
yeah. I think it's more for fluid overloading
Okay.
patients, but and they say you need a MRP order to have a drive line now.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess if the doctor orders it, they're good.
Yeah.
They'll run into the same problems as us and